Some of the crowd on hand here at Western Bowl as we begin our second match in the adult division. Beautiful king of TV bowling, and here's a guy who's no stranger to the telecast, Tom Kasee. He has appeared on this television show 14 times in the past, and here he is in the opening frame of match 2. Just couldn't get it up there in the left corner.
Opening the show with a shot that be proud to open any show with, and that's a smash blowout 7. Ball hitting and deflecting just a little bit. I think the first ball he threw it a little harder than what we'll see him throw the rest of them. Little sigh there to get the butterflies out. I don't care how many times you've been on the telecast, JD. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking to throw that first ball.
And he's facing Jerry Eckel, who of course won the opening match. Eckel, the master of unconventionality. I just made up a word like Dizzy D. Unconventionality?
That's good, right? Let's write that one down.
Does that sound good, Bo? You get on that
Great.
word. 8 steps is what I'm the approach, but he nails it.
Like it. Let's key off of some of his. We talk about a little bit of body language from time to time. Jerry is no stranger to it. Now that shot he liked, and he kind of hopped and then went down and responded, and it was a strike.
Should we call it an Eckel move?
Eckel move number 1.
All right, number 1. There are variations on the theme.
Eckel move number 2 will be when he thinks the ball is going to go high. He will stand erect and hop up and down 3 little short hops. To watch.
All right, we're watching.
He must have liked that one. Ooh, I didn't see it hop for wide.
You have factored work again, even on body language, David.
Jeez. Starting the year on a good note.
Oh, do you have some dignity to add to these proceedings? Of course you do. I make up a word. David incorrectly predicts the body language. What do you have for us?
How about some more perfect scores that were rolled?
Sounds good.
You know, Jerry did roll a 300 in qualifying here last week to make the show, and Rick Ernstwinder and Terry Haste rolled 299 games.
Thanks it up, David.
Thanks for getting me out of that one, Bo. making the 139.
Mighty fine, 139 for Jerry Eckel, and here comes Tom Kasee again, stepping up. Frame number 2. Tom, a metallurgical engineer. And no, I didn't make up the word metallurgical. Check it in the dictionary.
I know that one. Part of the thing that keeps Tom competitive in the game for so many years, as you see a perfect shot there, is the fact that he is a big guy. He's taller than your average good bowler, and he's a little larger. But what he does, keep your eye on the ball itself. Remember, the simpler you keep the game, the more chance you have to consistently repeat a move. Tom Kasee's arm swing is extremely low. Let's watch it here. It will not even come up to his waist level on the backswing. Keeps the ball in play and under control.
But not quite the control he wanted on that shot. It's interesting, David. He's a big man, and usually we think of big guys being the power bowlers. But if I can glean the morsels of wisdom from what you're saying, this guy deals more with control. He doesn't really try to overpower the pins.
You can't overpower the pins. Well, wait a minute. There's been one exception to that. John Gant, who we've all had the opportunity to watch on the tube, has overpowered pins. The rest of us mortals, we try to play the game within the structure that it was designed to be played in. Tom does not. He's a smart bowler. He's very knowledgeable about lane conditions, and he practices his game utilizing all the beneficial points, and that's keeping the ball under control.
3 for Jerry Eckel. Fills it up.
He filled it up all right, and he did 12 of these in a row last week. Let's look at what one of those looked like. Perfectly right up the 11th forward, no arc to the left at all, and then it rolls off. Minimal deflection on the back end. The 4-pin taking out the 7 as the head pin exits stage right.
To quote Snagglepuss, that was the cartoon character's name. Heavens to Murgatroyd.
I've been compared to him on more than one occasion.
People tend to compare me to Tank McNamara and or Bullwinkle, but no comparison here for Jerry Eckel. He nails it.
Great shot, great shot. The match was tied up going into this frame. Jerry capitalizes with a double, so we can take a look at it there. If Tom strikes, it gives him 60. Jerry's got 70 with a potential to go 80, so the lead is technically 20 pins right now.
X marks the frames. 3 and 4 for Eckel, and here comes Tom Casey.
Cuts it to 10 pins.
You know, if it weren't for the bowling proprietors and the BPA Association, we wouldn't have the show. And I think it's only right that we recognize that our proprietors that we have out this early in the morning, Sam Coleman from Coleman Lanes, Fran Ruggieri, who is the Vice President General Manager of the Golden Triangle, Frank Ruggieri, Manager of Coleraine Bowl, Walt Tarpley from Durban Bowl, and the President of the BPA, Jerry Beddinghouse, is here.
All right, good to have those esteemed gentlemen. Especially good to see Sam out bright and early this morning.
Sam would not miss a show.
All right. There is Tom Casey. Nailing it. We're going to break away here on that happy note for Mr. Casey and back with more beautiful Kings of Bowling right after this timeout.
While we were away, Jerry Eckel, 2 devastating strikes, 5th and 6th frame. Tom Casey getting up on the right lane, going high, but covering his spare. We're back to live.
And that sets the stage for the 7th frame. Tom Casey with his approach.
Going wide on that shot, possibly overcorrecting for the frame before. JD, this match, again, is not out of hand, but it's drastically tipping towards Jerry Eckel's side of the table as we look at the 4-pin there.
Let's see if he picks up the spare. Picks it right up. Goes Tom Casey. 14-year veteran of this telecast. And another veteran bowler, his competitor, Jerry Eckel. 8-step Eckel.
Unorthodox, but repetitious, and we've said it before, that's the name of the game. Stand on your head if you can do it the same way every time.
But I don't think they let me shot put it down the lane.
No.
Here's the 8-step.
Crucial shot right there, probably the biggest shot in the match for Jerry. This is the point in the fight where the one fighter is against the ropes and he's closing in. Perfect, right up 11 once again. You're going to see it, no deflection. Nothing other than personified striking power. Bo, that's great.
David, I'm noticing his approach. Now, is it normal for him to actually bring the heel up off of the approach? Is that a normal slide?
Yes.
Is that his normal slide?
His.
But it's really not normal.
No. It's
okay.
Only normal for Jerry and a few other select people, but
it looks like he's sticking, that's why.
He's comfortable with that. And like right there is what you're talking about at the end. He raises up, and that's his body position. Now, the only trouble with that is if he raises up a 1/10 of a second too soon, he's out of position. That's why a bowler like Tommy, whose slide actually continues before, during, and after the release, has more of an area to adjust for error than, let's say, Jerry Eckel. Maybe we can pick it up a little closer on the next shot. He went wide. He left the 1, 3, 6, 7. He's going to try to throw the head pin, center your screen, to the left, over into the 7th pin. Let's watch.
Can't quite pull it off.
A little more authority there, and he had the right idea, but this game is geometry. We'll mention it several times throughout the year. The playing parameters do not change. The lane is always the same size, always the same length. The pins are always in the same position. You just have to play geometry. Tom Casey, the veteran that he is, capitalizes on an opening of his competitor. We have got a match.
Then again, you'd expect that from an engineer, right, Bo?
That's right. You know, I wanted to mention Western Bowl hosts the world's largest payoff bowling tournament. $2,170,000 is the payoff from this previous year. The tournament started just last Friday, and they've got entry fees this year like $39 for the singles. We have $44 for the doubles, $100 for the team event, and there's an all event that costs $10. And there's early birds prizes that are given for the first 6 weeks. So if you enter within the first 6 weeks, you can win some extra prize money.
Early bird catches the worm, and Tom Kasee catching up with a couple of strikes here. Not out of this thing by a long shot, David.
He's downing his Pepsi right there, and we are going to have a game. Tom Kasee, with the help of Jerry Eckel, has closed the deficit to a mere 7 pins.
Things are tightening up, and are you sure it's Pepsi he's drinking? Could be a Christian Moorline Doppel Dark.
My favorite, my personal favorite.
Yes, it is. I know.
I wish they'd be able to store some of that in my basement. I promise I'd keep good watch over it.
Sure. Watch it go down smooth and easy.
Jerry Eckel, crucial shot, throws a pretty fair ball and leaves the 10 pin. The advantage is now Kasee. Eckel's job, he's got one more as we watch him on the split screen for this spare. Obviously make the spare first of all, and then he has to get the first 2 in the 10th.
Search and destroy, he comes through.
You know, we have to thank the girls in the restaurant here at Western Bowl. They did just a great job. Barbara, especially, for taking care of the camera crew. That came out this early in the morning to set up, and what a great crew you've got.
Barbara obviously ignoring the theorem passed down in various national parks. Please don't feed the animals. Today, feeding the animals on the crew. Took me a while to get that out and get the brain working this morning, but I think I finally got a chuckle out of you for that. Let's see what Jerry can do here.
Situation is this. Jerry Eckel must strike in the 10th and 11th frames to have a shot at winning this match. Number 1.
Does what's required. No, seriously, the crew does a great job, and I'd like to thank them for helping me out, because so often you don't see all the people necessary to get this job done. And to bring you bowling as has been done in this television market now for nigh on 25 years, a veritable quarter of a century.
Our silver anniversary. We're thrilled.
And a man with a bit of silver in his hair who can really do the job here. 49-year-old Jerry Eckel, winner of the first match and trying to do it again in match number 2.
With this strike, Jerry will force Tom Kasee to get the first 2. Crucial shot. Had to have it to really put the pressure on Kasee. Let's take a look at it right here. The ball is going to run up a little high, but he's going to get a little help from his friends. And a right hand, running it out ahead of time. Head pin straight back, 3 pin to the wall. Wedges into the 6 and the 10 pin for a lucky break. Now, count. Very, very important, this count ball.
You see the concentration on his face. And he comes through. He's had quite a game for himself. Looks like he's just getting warmed up.
Match play competition, that's what it's all about. Coming through when you have to have them. Situation is this. Tom Kasee needs the first 2 strikes in the 10th frame and a reasonable count on the fill ball to win. If he does not strike right here, this ball, it's bye-bye Tom.
Bye-bye Tom, I'm afraid.
Tom.
It's over.
In the area, it looked a little high when it left his hand. Thought he'd get a break. Not the case. The break that freed Jerry Eckel up, Tom Kasee did not get. Jerry will go on to compete in his 3rd match of the day.
But if it's not for victory, at least it's for pride. Tom Kasee trying to finish out and up his total. When you bowl through like this, is there any therapeutic value to it? I mean, you just go from the standpoint where every situation is practice and there's something to be learned from it?
It comes down to we don't want anybody to quit, ever.
And Tom Kasee does not quit, finishing out by filling up the frame. So as we take a look at the tally board, you see Jerry Eckel, your winner, 234 to 216 over Tom Kasee. And there's more bowling to come here on the beautiful King of Bowling following this timeout.
Today's bowling tip is being brought to you by West Hills Ford.
Unless you've just arrived from the planet Mars, you already know that the object of bowling is to knock down pins. But what if you kept doing this?